Hello and welcome to the Women Who Code podcast. My name is Kat Liao. I'm a social media coordinator at Women Who Code, and today we're joined by Valeria Cerpa. She is a front-end developer based in Peru, and she's working on the intersection between technology, programming, and urban resilience at Planning 2050 organization. She has a background as an architect, and recently she has been an intern at US Green Building Council, also known as USGVC in Washington, D.C., and is working with JavaScript libraries for data visualization. Her experience has allowed her work in organizations from the United States, Switzerland, France, and Peru. She also has knowledge of data analysis, and her work has been recognized by GITOC, UNICITI, and One Young World. So welcome, Valeria.
Hi, Kat. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you for joining us. My first question for you is, what sparked your interest in the intersection between computer science and urban planning?
Thanks for your question. First of all, when I finished urban planning and architecture in college school, I like very much the interdisciplinarity between another area that could fit well with urban planning and that could let me develop projects related to technology. At the same time, I was collaborating with my brother, who is computer science majored. So I find that computer science brings a lot of tools for developing, for example, data research projects, and at some point fills some missing gaps in the urban planning studies and architecture. So in that way, I started looking for new technologies, new ways of approaching these both passions that I was starting interested in. So I found out many different ways of approaching it, and thanks God, I found opportunities in could I apply these skills. And first of all, I started in the data, urban data analytics. And then in the web development, which I'm currently today, and I'm happy to work in that project.
Amazing. And how long have you been in this project currently?
I have been in the last project with Planning 2050, approximately 2 months, but in the whole area of computer science and urban planning, like the last 3 years.
Amazing. And can you tell us about your experience as an intern at USGVC and the impact of sustainable initiatives in the tech industry?
Yes, at USGVC was a very great opportunity to work directly in the field of sustainability. It is an organization with many branches around the world that, for example, first of all, they taught me about the framework and the rating system of leads for communities. So in that area, you can learn more about different topics of sustainability. Like, for example, I would like to mention 3. One of them is natural systems and ecology, like material resources and energy or greenhouse emissions, which, for example, it's a very important topic that it's talked nowadays a lot in different conferences and fields of sustainability and environmental. So this experience being an intern gave me the opportunity to work with JavaScript frameworks, for example, in which I could code visualizations, diagrams that at some point could help to USGVC to show their data in a more visual way in their webs or in their blogs, for example. So it was a very rewarding experience. And what I take the most from it is talking with people from the sustainability and about the tech impact on this area. So that networking experiences was the best for me.
Thank you for sharing that. And can you talk about your experience leading a multidisciplinary team in Resilience Fund Fellowship Project?
Yes, for sure. In Resilience Fund, well, it was a different area because the Resilience Fund is they have I focus more in the social issues, especially in the social issue of crime, citizen insecurity, and extortion. But what they look for, and I think they wanted as support, was in the creation of a tool, a mapping tool, interactive maps for tracking the hotspots of crime and especially the citizen insecurity in the public spaces of cities. So I work with an interdisciplinary team of computer scientists, and I lead the team of architects and urban planners in the development of this tool. And what I learned the most was, for example, since managing budgets or schedule, organizing online meetings, and, for example, looking for the main skills of each member of my team. I wanted that my team feel comfortable doing each one of the members their work, and also perform what they were specialized in, and they feel also comfortable in our main mission, who was developing this new tool for this so big social issue.
Wow, that sounds very challenging. So, are you working with government organizations for that specific topic?
Yes, we have talks with municipalities and some crime observatories research, but also I like that in the organization field, they give you mentorship support, which I consider is important also. In the tech field, we need to, especially developing these tools, it's important to receive mentorship, to listen from other experts, and at the same time, they want to hear what people from the tech field want to offer to the task. So it's important, this exchange of information as a learning experience too for both parts.
I'm sure this research is going to be really important globally too, that it could potentially help so many different countries.
Definitely. This tool was developed for Peru, which is my country. I forgot to mention this is my country. I applied this tool for, and mainly I wanted, my first job was applied for my country, my community. But of course, this tool this is something amazing from tech. You can apply to different environments.
Yeah.
And this is something also these organizations wanted from people in the tech field, from people with tech skills. So it's a lesson I learned from that.
Thank you so much for working in this field. It's incredibly important. And how have you navigated the challenges of transferring your skills to the tech industry? And I know you came from architecture background.
Yes, an architecture background with some urban studies in my last years of college. The challenges at first is when you see an area that is new. For example, I haven't seen a reference in my community, in my country. People who looked at are applying both areas. But with the experiences I started having networking, even with a Google search, you find a community. You find, for example, this community, Women Who Code, in which you see professionals from different fields. I started seeing people that are doing this interdisciplinarity between both areas or many other areas. That is an important lesson I learned, to look around the world. You can see many inspiration. You can, even in your work, or, for example, when you are started working in these projects with these organizations, or even starting from volunteer. I started from volunteer projects. You started meeting more, and at the same time, you started inspiring others, because people can also in your community, in your work field, start asking you questions about how you work in this intersection. What tools should I learn for doing it? So I think that was the main challenge. The main challenge when I started, but I'm happy that nowadays I see more references, and I can answering questions from my friends and people in my field. I feel happy to also create a more bigger community in this area.
Yeah, and I think your passion really shows because I see you as a self-starter and someone who is kind of trailblazing the way in this area. And I know there are people in the world from architecture background that want to go into tech. So you're a wonderful resource for someone looking for that.
Thank you so much. I see many examples from people, architects that are working in the metaverse, architects that I want to learn about data science, some architects doing web development. I'm so happy that not only even architecture, other careers, they want to use they ask about transferable skills. What transferable skills should I use to enter in the tech industry? So this is so good, and that communities like as Women Who Code welcome us to the community, and they give you, like, for example, information from the video, from podcast. It's important for us, from people with a non-traditional tech or engineering background, to learn from the community.
Right, because it's like a total change of mindset and perspective.
Definitely.
So my next question for you is, how have you approached self-teaching and continuing your education in your career development?
Self-teaching was so important. From even I have learned in the tech field, you have to watch. Well, it depends. You have to, first of all, practice the code by yourself. Look for tutorials, videos, or the way it's suits better for each one. So self-teaching, especially when you don't have this engineering or computer science background, is important for little by little from the beginning. I started, first of all, how to code, choose your programming language, choose the pathway you want to follow in tech, or even how to, one challenge also we have is how can we use our transferable skills and our background to at some point mix with this engineering, computer science field. So self-taught for me was so important. I recommend so much to people who are starting in this field or want to transition or pivot to do self-teaching, and always think in the importance of continuing education, because in this area you never stop to learn. There is always something new to learn. And also, as technology is evolving like so fast, it's important to maintain updated with the latest technologies that are coming to the world. But also, it's important I will recommend to manage a balance, because I know this can be overwhelming from the beginning. You see a lot of information available. You want to do a lot of projects, but it's important also to take care about your mental health, your emotions in this process, because I know it can be hard. Also, there are thoughts that, okay, I am changing my career, but should I leave what I have learned in the past, 5 years, 7 years? No, my opinion is you can keep what you have done before, but also maintain or look for that balance in your life. Because of the end, if you put effort, you use responsibility, and these opportunities are always, especially with in the tech field, you can do this, follow this career transition, and at the same time be good with yourself and with your mental health.
Definitely. So what initially drew you into transitioning your career, despite knowing that it would change so much part of your life?
It was a mix of different things. Seeing my brother's work, I think it was by lucky. at the moment, seeing my brother's research project, Also looking into the internet about if there are projects between these both areas, and the networking experiences for sure. Talking with people, talking with people, saying my ideas. What do you think about it? Talking with also with professionals in the computer science field. Do you see an impact between sustainability and tech field? What do you think about this tool? I think was a very research and asking process that led me to start thinking in these areas. And also it was at some point crazy because I thought, okay, I don't have references in there. Maybe I can start something. But if I in the process fail, I will learn from the experience definitely. And I will have a new approach for urban planning and architecture. So it was a very research process, but my main advice is that you are not alone. In the area you want to mix, to transition, you want to combine, you're, I don't know, a lawyer, a doctor, you want to combine with tech, use the tech skills, learn programming. If you're not alone, because there is a community that would like to support you, and there are organizations that are interested in what are these tech impacts in the field. So yeah, it's a very like going into different thoughts and talking with people process.
So it sounds like being proactive of networking and building your community for yourself.
Definitely, it's so important to join communities, to talk to people, listen even. I have learned a lot from listening videos, from women who code, from videos in my Google research, and also talking with persons in my area also, or in the computer science field also. So this was so rewarding experience and made me feel that I'm not alone in this field. That maybe these crazy ideas at some point could have a positive impact in my community, which make me happy about that.
Yeah, it sounds like you're so passionate about this, not just for yourself, but for the world. And so that is very amazing. And how important is mentorship in your personal and professional growth to you?
Was so important, mentorship. I remember my first mentors were, well, first of all, my brother, who I asked him about the computer science field. But secondly, I started joining some mentorship programs in which I meet, or even in the networking events, I found a mentor who I talk about these questions I have about the transition, if I could have an opportunity to develop this, or even if you are joining a class, a programming class, or you see a tutorial and you could ask the instructor, the person who is teaching you code about different questions, career transition, your ideas of future projects. And in these mentorship experiences, you can learn a lot from the other person, but at the same time, the mentor can learn from you too. So it's coming back to the importance of networking events. In the mentorship opportunities I had, I could learn a lot, career advice especially, and I don't know, I feel like I was part of a community, and that it's very welcoming to different professionals and different ideas.
Exactly. And despite the pandemic, for example, the online community will always be there. So would you say how much percentage is online and in person for you, for your network?
For my network, I would say it's like 70% online, the majority of percent online. 30% is in person. In Peru, the pandemic was, the quarantine was long. So the majority of opportunities I took were online.
Mm-hmm.
But also there are sometimes meetups in college. In computer science faculties organize meetups. And you can, or Google students programs organize these meetups, and you can join. I like that. I like this welcoming that are free for anyone who is interested in tech, and you don't need to be a student to join these meetings, or even online. It's they're open to anyone who are interested in learn or speak more about the area. So yeah.
That's great. And what advice would you give to women looking to enter the tech industry and pursue a career at the intersection of computer science and urban planning?
Thank you for your question. I like so much this question because I always like to see this question when I listen in a podcast. My advice for women in entering the tech field and in the intersection of computer science and urban planning is just be yourself, value your ideas. Your ideas are so important. You can't imagine how a positive or huge impact can have your ideas for the world. And to remember that everyone are different, and we can have a positive impact to the tech field with it regarding our backgrounds. And my other advice is to value your lessons learned during the past years. You can use these transferable skills in the computer science and tech field, and you can bring new ideas and refreshing new ideas for a project. So never stop asking questions, joining networking events, looking for a mentor. It's so important. I know people from different, even with a lot of years in the working place, they look for a mentor sometimes. So it's important that too, and also be patient and don't stress in this process, because if you work hard, if you do your best, at the end, all your effort will have a rewarding, and you could work in what you want to work. And also, other thing as final is that in the recent years there are new modern careers like jobs, roles that are creating. So you will have eventually your opportunity to show these skills you have learned in the past, and also great for innovating and open doors for others who are coming. So it's important that flexibility, that innovation that the tech area gives to us. So keep going because you will have your opportunity.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for your kind words. And I know that if a student or someone just starting out in the tech field is listening to that, it is incredibly helpful because it is so easy to feel lost and alone. But it sounds like what you're saying is you are not alone, and there is a community out there, 100%. You just have to take the extra step and find them.
Absolutely. There is a community very, very happy to welcome new ideas and new personalities, which is so good for the tech community to have more diversity.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all of your wise words. And I wish you all the amazing luck and the best that you can give into your projects, because your work sounds extremely productive and beneficial to the world, and especially for Peru. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Kat. I am so happy given this podcast, talking with you and learning also. So if anyone is interested in contacting me and talking more about these topics, or you have a question, feel free to look and search in Twitter. My user is val_Cerpa Salas. My LinkedIn, I am as V Cerpa Salas, and on Instagram, val.cerpasalas. Thank you so much.